Free is great, but only if it's useful. Free credit scores from some apps can differ by as much as 100 points from your actual FICO score that 90% of top lenders use when you apply for a credit card, personal loan, car loan, or mortgage. That can mean a higher interest rate, a bigger monthly payment, or worse.
Denied.
My FICO gives you your actual FICO score, the score lenders use, straight from the company that created it. For the moments that matter, get the score that matters, your FICO score. Visit myfico.com and get started for free today.
Starts first down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, started off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown.
Rory going to the single coverage, end zone. He hits Cooper again.
Hey, what's up? It's just episode 293. Hoosier Happy Hour podcast. We're just here to talk about the national championship between the Miami Hurricanes and your Indiana Hoosiers. Previewing the college football playoff national championship that involves your Indiana Hoosiers, our Indiana Hoosiers. With us, obviously, full house as usual. Brando's here, Seth's here. We're gonna do real quick run through it because Brandon's got to bounce in a little bit, but we're gonna give him the part that he probably knows the most about at the beginning, which is we'll go through a couple transfer portal ads real quick, like we did last week.
Boy. I was not prepared for this.
Oh, I had two outlines for you guys. I forgot to delete the wrong one. So we'll do that real quick. And then there's only 5 of them. You'll be okay. 2 of them are fairly meh. And then we'll go into the preview against Miami and tell you about why they're going to absolutely destroy Indiana, and about how they have athletes everywhere, and about how Indiana hasn't played anybody, and how they're bigger on the offensive and defensive line, and blah,
watching
blah, blah,
the Lebitard show, for the love of God.
Lebitard.
Oh, we are going to tag the living shit out of them in this pod, by the way. And one of their producers was wearing an Indiana shirt today because he feels like he is the same kind of Cuban as Mendoza, because he's like this like proper dude on the show. So, but he wore an IU shirt the whole time, which is cool. All right, let's jump in. Transfer portal real quick, and then we'll get into the big time game. Added some good pieces, and then some vital pieces. So we'll start with like the vital piece, I guess, would be the long snapper, Drew Clawson from Iowa State. Not a whole lot to talk about. Brandon and I talked about him for just a minute while we were waiting on Seth. He's kind of big. He's like 6'6", what did I say, 6'6", 230 or something like that. He's like a big, skinny guy. And then we get into some other pieces that are going to play a little bit.
A little bit of news. Oh. Let's get, because I'm curious. Just curious. Seth, where is Grimes, Iowa? I know you are a huge Iowa geography guy. Grimes,
no idea.
Iowa.
I would guess North Central.
So he did begin his career at Northern Iowa. And here's another added note about him. And Bragg, I'll need your help here. Played in 39 career games, including 12 starts in every game for the Cyclones last year, where he was a short and long snapper. What is a short snapper?
It's just field goals.
7-man football.
Oh, okay.
For the Iowa State Cyclones?
That doesn't make any sense.
Here's the time.
Oh no, short snaps are the extra points, the field goals.
Yeah.
Long snaps are
punts.
Yeah, it is a slight difference.
I've never heard short snapper.
Speaking of things you've never heard
weird.
of, Grimes, Iowa is a suburban Des Moines. I did not know Des Moines had suburbs.
Des Moines doesn't deserve suburbs.
Des Moines cool. On. Downtown Des Moines cool though. Cornerback Carson Williams, Montana State. He's coming over with very little playing time at Montana State, but he is coming over with a trophy. FCS national champion Carson Williams.
I think you're getting your stats wrong, brother. He started all 16 games and was a freshman All-American.
Well, then that's on ESPN, bro. That's pure ESPN stats. Just
so here
bad.
again, just reading the little blip that I got from Google. He is 5'11", 170 pounds. So again, kind of fits the Ponzi mold. Native of Houston, Texas. He was named a freshman All-American in 2025 after playing and starting in every single game, including the national championship. For the season, he tackled or has 46 tackles, which is a ton, 2.5 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. Basically, no one threw at him at all.
Perfect. Well, that's way better than whatever junk ESPN had shot out there. So, I
don't think he's an instant starter because I think we're bringing back quite a bit, but the dude has 3 years of eligibility. So I think this is a case where he learns the Haynes defense in 2026, breaks the 2-man in 2027, and then is an absolute stud in 2028.
Yeah, and it stays on trend where we're bringing in some of these transfers that actually have eligibility remaining and can get in and start gelling. Speaking of that, defensive tackle
so good.
Joe
that was
Yelly.
So good.
It's Yelly, not Jelly. Yelly from Tulsa, 6'3", 300 pounds, 46 tackles last season at the defensive tackle position, 2.5 sacks, 4.5 tackles for loss. Tell me why you are obsessed with Mr. Yelly. You were pumped about this one.
So again, letting Seth do a job here. We love providing jobs here at the Hoosier Happy Hour podcast. Decorah, Iowa. Can you look up Decorah, Iowa? Well, he's looking at that. Bragg, did you ever watch Last Chance U?
I did. Like the first.
Do you remember Iowa Western Community College? They're the ones that got destroyed. They were a super bad team. In the show, at least. They may be good now. I
think they're like an actual power, though, like community college wise. But yeah.
Well, that is where he started his career before transferring to Tulsa, where again, as a D tackle, 4.5 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks. He is a space eater. I think he fits that 2 deep Hosea Wheeler, Ratcliffe, where I don't think he's going to be one of the immediate impact like a Tucker or Landino, but I think he fits what a Big 10 defensive tackle looks like. He is 6'3", 300 plus. So he is going to take up blocks, freeing up edge and linebacker support. I think he fits a Haynes defense really, really well.
Yeah, and I guess we'll switch over to the offensive.
We got to know where Decorah, Iowa
is. That.
It's in northeastern Iowa. It's apparently a charming little town of barely over 7,000. It's where Luther College is, where my least favorite Dave Matthews Live album was recorded. I know, Bragg. I know. You'll argue up and down, say the New York City one is by far the best, and I'll agree with you. But the Boulder one's pretty good too. No. You always tell me how they're all so on equal high footing.
Do you think it's Decorah or Decorah?
Oh, it's Iowa. It's Decorah. It's about as easy as you can possibly say it.
All right. Moving on.
All right. 2 more to go. This one, he's gonna have to show me something. But wide receiver Shaz Preston from Tulane via Alabama, the number 8 ranked wide receiver in the 2022 class, redshirted at Bama, played 2 seasons at Tulane. Last year, 43 catches, 723 yards with a 16.8 average, which is pretty fat, and 4 touchdowns. Why do you love Shaz Preston, Brandon?
Again, so he is a field stretcher. I think he fits into that Charlie Becker, EJ Williams. I don't think he's running the Surratt and Cooper routes. He doesn't, at least from the highlights I saw, what I see is everything downfield. I think he's going to do, again, pull the safeties out, and demand that they can't just stack the box. I think that's going to be his role in this offense. Seth, did you watch any highlights or know anything about Shaz Preston? I know you watch Tulane football.
No, he was one of the guys I wasn't familiar with. I thought he was somebody else, and I had to look him up to figure out it wasn't the guy.
He had a great game against Ole Miss. Phenomenal game.
Yep, I don't recall.
So yeah, again, we've went over in length how stacked the wide receiver room is. And yeah, I don't think he's gonna be a top 3 guy, but I think he's in the next wave. I think everything EJ Williams has done, I think you can plug and play this Shaz right into that. And I would say EJ Williams played in an important role in this offense. So is this a Nick Marsh? No, it isn't a Nick Marsh. It doesn't need to be a Nick Marsh because I think Shaz Preston is going to have a significant role in this offense. And I think he showed it big time in the college football playoff.
All right, one more. This is the one I'm actually excited about. I think most of Hoosier Nation is excited about this one. Cornerback A.J. Harris from Georgia, then to Penn State. 6'1", 191 out on the outside. 33 tackles last season, one fumble recovery, and only one pass defended. Now, he was the leading tackler for Penn State against IU this season. He had 8 tackles on the game. Tell me about some A.J. Harris, because you loved this. You loved them all pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's pro. He's an all Big Ten selection. He is an absolute field eraser. I don't know this, but I'm a gambling man, so I will confidently say when Pons goes pro, he slides right in as quarterback 1. Love Jamari Sharp. Love our DB room in general. I think we've built up amazing depth. But you can't not add an A.J. Harris, right?
Yeah.
He is potentially first team all Big Ten, potentially All-American caliber player. Question I have for you, Bragg. Does this mean IU has a 5-star? Because he was a 5-star coming out of high school. Does this mean IU has landed a 5-star?
I mean, we technically have. We have. I was going to say EJ Williams was a 5-star out of high school, if I remember right. So I would say no. I mean, he's a very good player. I don't care.
5-star by proxy, if we wanted to put it that way, but no.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I don't care what he was out of high school. I mean, if you're gonna show up and you're gonna play ball, I don't care if you were a 0-star. Honestly, I mean, look at the team right now. So
right now, just the last thing before we move on, what a lot of people care about is the actual game and not the 2026 roster. As we are currently at 15 transfers, I believe we will get another 5 to 7, and I think it will be half of that will likely be on the offensive line.
Yeah, that's where we need some help. So
I would be shocked if we don't add 2 or 3 guys on the offensive line. And if we're going to get 5 to 7, again, Seth math, about 50% of the rest of the additions, I think will be offensive line.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. When is it closed? Does anybody know when the transfer portal this season or this session closes? Seth's going to look it up.
Portal never closes. Closes.
While he's looking that up, let's hop into the game. This is game number 16. This is for all the marbles. For all the Seth, you got it before we
start? It closes January 16th, but teams playing the national championship get an extra 5 days until January 24th. That's not 5 days, but 5 days since the end of this. Okay, I get it.
Portal never closes. That just as visits.
So January 24th for IU.
There are dead periods, but you can still call. Coaches can make visits. The portal never closes.
Yeah, but we can't get any commitments, is what I'm saying. So.
No, we can definitely get portal commitments outside that window. They can commit any day they want. They just can't visit. There's dead periods, which means IU can't do anything. A dead period's a dead period.
And most semesters have started now.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyone can commit at any time verbally. Like, it doesn't matter. Portal never closes.
All right, let's get to the good part. As I said, game number 16, the college football national championship. IU coming in at 15-0, taking on Miami in Miami. Number 10 ranked Miami, 13-2, 6. Don't laugh. 6-2 in conference in the ACC. Game takes place next Monday, the 19th at 7:30 p.m. I don't know why I wrote a.m. p.m. It may not start until 7:30 a.m. As much as they tell you it starts at 7:30 p.m. Not a shot. There's a kickoff at 7:30. As of time of recording, weather in Miami that night is going to be perfect. Might be a little humid, but we'll see. 63 degrees. Takes place at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, which is where Miami plays their home games. But it will not be a home game for them. If you're not going, which lucky for Brandon and I, we are going. But if you're not a millionaire, you can watch it at home on ESPN or out wherever you're going on ESPN. And this is the part.
A few things before we get into the gambling part of it. I know conference alignment, a lot of it's going on. Do you think the ACC kind of finally moves to the ASS?
Was that a joke?
Yeah, it was. It was a bad joke. It was a bad joke, and I wanted to tell it. I learned something about the Hard Rock Stadium. So contractually, Miami University is not allowed to use the Dolphins locker room because they share a season.
Mm-hmm.
So the away team typically uses the Dolphins locker room.
And they will be the away team.
Yes. So they will the away team will have the home locker room. It's weird. It's weird.
It's really weird.
So their routine will be a little thrown off because, I was like, but maybe they end up switching it. But yeah, so just throughout the season, I don't know who's going to get what locker room in the national championship. I don't have that information. But all I do know is the Hurricanes do not use the Dolphins locker room in season. So make that information as you will.
Make of the information that I'm about ready to put out there, as you will, as you eloquently just put it. Opening line, IU came out. No, a little bit. IU came out as minus 7.5 point favorites, which made it all of Miami irate. Like they're what am I thinking of? Like they're I can't come up with the word, but the way that they feel about their team is unbelievable. Like -7, they're good. I'm scared for Monday. I really am. I'm more scared than I was against Oregon. But -7.5 for IU, over under 48.5. Here's the fun part, and the part that I started laughing about when I think when you guys were talking transfer. The line has gone up. IU -8.5. Now, the over-under stays at 48.5, and the ESPN FPI has IU as a 68.3% chance of winning, which is
we love that statistic. It's our favorite statistic.
Only when we're winning. Has about 2% better odds than we did going up against Oregon. Now,
what does the S&P Plus have us projected?
You have it, don't you?
I do. 80% chance of victory.
Yeah. And now, what have we said before? We said it when we were bad. What did we say? No, I think we even said it last season. The players play the game. The computers are for
porn.
Not here. Not in Indiana.
Nerds.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we got to play the game, right? They're going to come in with this whole we're intimidating factor, and we're more athletic, and we're bigger, and we're stronger, and we're at home, and all this stuff. And then they're going to run out on the field and see the amount of crimson in the stands, and hopefully they S their pants, which would be amazing.
Here, I got some more gambling stuff.
Do it.
Who do you think has the best odds to score a touchdown?
Charlie Becker.
Shocked me.
Oh, I was going to go with Surratt.
Nope. Third best odds, Surratt. Third. -115.
Kalon?
Fletcher.
Kalon Black barely
Hmm.
edges Fletcher out. Kalon Black at minus 125
Ooh.
to score a touchdown. Fletcher at minus 120.
How about Cooper being behind Becker now for anytime touchdown score? Like just barely behind him. But again, here's what you've got right now. You've got Kalon, Fletcher, Surratt, Hemby, Becker, Cooper, Tony, and then Fernando.
Feel like you, again, and we'll move on to gambling because I know some people don't love it. How do you not put a few dollars on first touchdown Indiana defense? I mean, it is still 26-1.
Where's it at? First, first touchdown's insane. I mean, even at plus 550 for a touchdown at all is really good. So,
but I mean, plus 2,500. We've done it 3 times this year.
Yeah.
First touchdown.
Yeah. It's defense.
Illinois,
teams, just so people know.
UCLA, and Oregon. Or not. Yeah. So that's, again, Seth math. 20% of the time, first touchdown is special teams or defense. That is worth that's insane. Like, I just figured that stat out live. People saw the way my brain works live. 20% of IU's first touchdowns came from the defense or special teams. Bet that. Everyone bet it.
No, don't. That's Brandon by himself saying that. That is not the podcast.
$10 gets you $250 in profit. Do it.
Which, if you do that 10 times, you might be able to afford a ticket. All right. So, series notes. Believe it or not, we had played Miami back in the 60s, 1966 and 64. I don't know why I did them backwards. That was the most recent matchup, 1966. IU losing that against Miami 7-14. Both matchups took place in Miami. IU won, I believe, 28-14 in the other matchup in 1964. So, not a whole lot of history with Miami. There are some other schools in our state that do. I mean, Purdue has some ties with Robert Marv and some other things. And then you've got Notre Dame, obviously, that's got major ties with Notre Dame or with Miami. So let's jump into their schedule because I thought some of this was fun. And again, this was another thing that, as Brandon alluded to, I'm a massive Le Batard listener and fan and have been loyal for, God, what 13 years, 14 years now. Here's their schedule. And they crapped all over IU's schedule, just to be clear. They beat Notre Dame, at the time was ranked number 6, and Notre Dame did not make a bowl. They beat Beth Cookman. They beat USF, who was 18th at the time. They finished 9-4. They beat a really bad Florida team. They beat a really bad FSU team who somehow at week 5 was still ranked 18th. And they barely beat them. They lost to Louisville, which was hilarious. Beck had 4 interceptions. They beat Stanford at home. They lose to SMU, which Brandon and I watched that game. I lost some money on the over because of SMU being stupid. I can't remember what they did. And then they
SMU was a pretty good S&P Plus final ranking, though.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. They were one of their higher teams that they've played out of the CFP.
So, I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to look at. Like, I didn't realize. I mean, Jeff Brom seemed to be a highly coveted coach in this cycle. Louisville finished 97.
97. Here, let me get through it real quick. We'll go through it. Syracuse, win. NC State, win. At Virginia Tech, win. At a 22 Pitt. That was a win, too. Then they played the college football playoff, right? They squeaked by Texas A&M in a terrible game to watch. They beat Ohio State because of some turnovers. And then they almost let Ole Miss come back and win that game. Now, those games are going to be 10-2 and 8 in the S&P Plus, respectively. And Notre Dame, number 4. Brandon, how many teams outside of, let's just call it the top 95, how many teams outside of the top 95 S&P Plus teams did they play?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15.
And now that's
33% Seth math are
Yes.
worse than the
95th.
97 or worse.
And now
That is
I
a
included
crap schedule. That is
it's
a
not good.
poo schedule.
Now I included Beth Cookman in that, and they're not a Division I team, so I just put them at 136. And IU did the same thing with IU. I put Indiana State at 136. If you look at Indiana's schedule, the average opponent S&P Plus is 49.2. Miami is 55.4. Now, IU only played one team in the hundreds, and that was Indiana State, who does not even register on S&P Plus. So I'm done with the schedule talk. Seth, you wanted to say something. At least you looked like you wanted to say something. No. Okay. Well, stop looking at me then. All right. That's enough of their schedule. Let's get into the offense. Brandon, you got a few minutes we can spend there. And then if we need to jump into some other stuff before we need to leave, we can. Their offense is for as well as they've played, at least the way that you would think, against a really, really bad Ole Miss defense. And then they played halfway decent against Ohio State. Their rankings are not anything like what we faced in the last 2 weeks, in the last two games. Total offense is 40th. Scoring offense.
It's better than Bama, but it's much closer to Bama than it is Oregon.
Yeah, but Bama wasn't in the 40s and 30s, and I mean, I don't remember them being this bad. At least 40th in total offense, 30th in scoring, 72nd in rushing, 36th with the pass. Again, we can look at IU if you want. 11th overall in total offense, second in scoring, 12th in rushing, 52nd in passing. But again, we beat this horse 1,000 times. We don't need to pass the ball when we're up by 50 points or up by however many we were up against Oregon. So that gets hit a little bit. There's another thing I could find. I couldn't find anything else that could really stand out, right? They played pretty well or almost a little bit better against top 25 teams. They don't have a bad red zone offense. They don't have a bad completion percentage. They don't have a bad first down or third down conversion percentage. So it's hard to point all of those out as it being
so
a weakness.
I went ahead and because you do such an incredible job in outlines, they are readily available. Scoring offense, Alabama 39th.
Okay.
Miami 30th.
30th. Yep.
Alabama 118.
They were bad rushing. Yeah.
Miami 72. Passing, Alabama 22. Passing 36. They are, at least overall, once you combined all those, shockingly close. Miami is better slightly. Miami is slightly better offensively. They don't come close to Oregon.
No. And Oregon's top 15 across the board, I think, or top 20 across the board at least. And the passing stat kind of stood out to me, and it came up with a quick question. I hope it's not one of your randos, is that we're getting ready to talk about the quarterback position, so you might as well get into it now. You talked about how Alabama's passing stats were better. Would you rather have Ty Simpson or Carson Beck?
Ooh, Carson Beck.
I think I'd rather have Ty Simpson. Seth?
It's strictly history and big game. And I mean, Ty Simpson's started 12, 13 games.
Yeah.
Carson Beck has been there and seen everything.
I think he's a gamer, dude. I think he's a gamer. I think Ty Simpson's a gamer. I think he's going to do really well in the NFL if he gets a chance. Seth?
I think they're about the same. I mean, I think this is like the Pam Beasley in The Office showing the same picture, saying point out the differences. Right. I think Ty Simpson has slightly more upside just from an age perspective, because Carson Beck's in his 6 years, 24 years old. Ty's 22, 21 and a half, something like that. So just from a sheer age and experience standpoint, upside versus experience standpoint, maybe give it to Simpson. But as far as this specific game, I'd probably go to Carson Beck just because he's had a lot more. The SEC had a lot more important games than.
Yeah, he's watched it from the bench. Both of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I it's hard for me to like Carson Beck. I mean, I think if he's not on your team, he's almost one of those guys that it's hard to like him.
So I
There's a lot
asked
of
this
different
question
factors.
an earlier pod, and I'm curious if your guys' opinion have changed on this. And I stole this from Twitter. I don't remember. This is from 4 months ago, 3 months ago. Would you choose your life? We have great wives, we have great kids, great houses, we have great life situations. Would you rather have your life or have Carson Beck's life?
Life, right? And I don't want to do that. I can't do that.
But here's the caveat: you have to look like Carson Beck.
No, I'm staying where I'm at.
Yeah, stick.
I mean the cars and the girls and the
stick.
money, but I'm staying where I'm at. I think. Well, I mean, Brandon.
You guys know how much he's made this year? Do you know what he made in NIL this year?
We might make the same here in about a week or so. We'll see.
$6 million. He's made almost $10 million, and he's 22 years old.
I mean, that's
and
incredible.
He has a Lambo.
It's incredible.
And a penthouse in Miami.
It's incredible. It's awesome. He also
Cavender twins. Ever heard of him?
I have. He can look at both of them at the same time. I tried not to do it. And it happened. We're going to move on. He's got really good stats. He's a pretty good quarterback. He's thrown for 3,581 yards at a 73% clip. Average is okay, 8.5 or 8.2 to be precise. 29 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He's been sacked 17 times.
The interception number is high.
It is high. It's high. Now, remember, you take the Louisville game out, he's basically, outside of the touchdowns because Nando's crapped all over him on the touchdown number. He's crapped on everybody. But he's got the same amount of interceptions, basically, if you take that game out. And if you listen to people, Miami people, the only people I ever listened to, or one set of Miami people, they, again, throw the game out the window. That game, blah, 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 blah. And it's all about the same factors that like IU is going to bring into this game. Oh, I just think Brom's a really good coach. He outcoached them, and they knew this and that and this and that. And some of those interceptions were just, if you go back and watch them, the way they caught the ball it's just incredible. Like, come on, dude. The excuses are insane. But again, I'm scared. Maybe that's why I keep coming up with all these different things.
Can I get you an early Brando?
Yeah, you're going to have to get to him at some point. You got 25 minutes left, so.
Yeah. I felt like the narrative for the past few years is Mario Cristobal is not a good coach. And now everything I watch is this guy's a tactician. He's a player's coach. He's a big game coach. Since when?
He's a CEO. He's a program builder.
Miami wanted to run this guy out of town. When he left Oregon, Miami was like, we got this guy, the guy that hasn't done anything at Oregon, who got better once he left. That Mario Cristobal, and now all of a sudden this guy's supposed to go toe-to-toe with Signetti? Yeah. So my rando is, IU has a massive advantage in coaching, correct?
Yes.
Like we can't revision
massive is a big
Mario Cristobal because of a 3-game stretch, right? He's not an elite coach. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a power 4 coach. But like we can't sit here and be like, oh, this is Kirby Smart. This is a descendant of Nick Saban. We can't. He's not even Dan Lanning. In my opinion, I'd say Dan Lanning's a better coach than Mario Cristobal.
I would say the same thing.
Okay. Anyway, this Mario Cristobal revisionist history is blowing my mind.
I think it's pretty easy to be good at defense when you have 2 absolute studs on the ends. You're good at offense when you've got a really like an older, fairly experienced quarterback, pretty good running backs. I mean, an incredible talent that we'll talk about here in just a little bit as a freshman wide receiver. And an offensive line that, remember, they are way bigger than our defensive line. So imagine how many other defensive lines that they play that they're way bigger, and it's the biggest advantage in the world. So, I mean, he's not Ryan Day. I don't hate Mario Cristobal. I hate Ryan Day, but I think he's
in my mind, he's equivalent to Ryan Day as far as a tactician, where they're at. Like Ryan Day, I don't hate him as much as you hate him. I think he's a good coach. I think Ryan Day is a good coach with insane talent. I think Mario Cristobal is a good coach with superior to elite talent.
Let's do it this way. What if Miami was Georgia in the CFP?
I'd be much more scared of Kirby Smart than Mario Cristobal.
That's a different question. Well, I didn't finish yet because I was trying to gather my thoughts here. If you were to flip-flop Miami and Georgia in the CFP, do they beat Alabama? Do they beat us? I mean, look at who they've played. Texas A&M, who looked awful. Now, was that because of them? Was that because of Miami? I don't know. And then they play, who'd they play after that? Can't remember. Why am I not remembering? Ohio State in a quarterback that's played 2 big games in his entire career, made it one mistake early on into the game. And that game was over after the pick 6. And then they play Ole Miss. And they would have instead played Oregon. I don't know, dude. I don't know. And I think that comes down to the coaching. I think I'm with you. All right, running backs. Mark Fletcher, big guy, 6'2", 225. He's fast. He can hit the hole. He's a pretty good running back. Over 1,000 yards, just shy of 200 carries on the season, so 5.4 average and 10
Mark
touchdowns.
Fletcher is, Seth, I think we've seen a Mark Fletcher against IU this year. Who is Mark Fletcher?
Ooh.
Almost same height, identical weight. Mark Fletcher is a little bit taller. Nick Singleton.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Fletcher is a Nick Singleton clone, and he had a phenomenal game. I hear the defensive ends. I hear Carson Beck. I hear Tony. It's this guy that I'm the most worried about, because what he's done and what Miami has done because of Fletcher has set themselves up with 2nd and 6, 3rd and short. They have been extremely efficient, and that's opened up big plays. So in my mind, we need to get them into 2nd and 8, 3rd and 5. We need to get them off script. Nick Singleton, Mark Fletcher, has just been, again, getting about 4, 5, 6 yards seemingly every run, and then occasionally popping one. So, in my opinion, just in case I need to get out of here, I think our linebackers, I think, is the most important position group to limit Mark Fletcher from getting past and into the 2nd level. I think that is the game within the game, is Mark Fletcher against Indiana's linebackers.
And just to echo that point, I think the offensive line at Michigan, at Ohio State, at Georgia, at Alabama, when they're at their best, what you always see is that scrum at the end where the offensive linemen are getting behind the line, behind the running back and pushing them extra 2, 3, 4, 5 yards forward. This Miami team does the exact same thing. It's the bully ball. They try to be that SEC. They try to be that Michigan, Ohio State power offense. And it's effective for them.
In my opinion, offense or defense, this is the player that can ruin IU's season right here. If he goes off like Nick Singleton, what happened in that second half of Penn State? Their offense got in a groove because Nick Singleton could not be stopped. IU's defense could not stop Nick Singleton. It wasn't because of their offensive line. It wasn't because of their wide receivers. It wasn't because of Gronkmeyer. It was because Nick Singleton said, I will not get tackled. Did I mess up his name? What did I
No,
do?
he just
Gronkmeyer.
Grunkenmeyer, that's his name.
Grunkenmeyer is his name. I'm pretty sure Ethan Grunkenmeyer.
But I'll let you guys talk more of the offense. Nothing else matters to me other than Mark Fletcher. That's the game.
And he's been pretty good.
Shut down Mark Fletcher. Miami has no hope.
Yeah.
If Mark Fletcher gets going, I think we're going to have ourselves a game.
I think out of 15 games, I think you're going to have one running back that does pretty well. And honestly, I think they held him in check for the entire first half. I mean, it was, they changed something, figured out something, and moved some stuff around and exposed something in IU's defense. Now, granted, didn't lose the game, but this is going to be a whole different animal at this point. And he's played pretty well in the CFP. He's got 132 yards a game, 6.9 yards per carry. Now, I did point this out. I did go and look this up. He's played one really good rushing defense, and that was against Ohio State. He had 90 yards, 4.7 average. So way down from what his other average is because he played really bad run defenses, or fairly bad run defenses. Texas A&M 40th, Ole Miss 69th, IU second.
Hold on, one thing. Ole Miss was one of the worst tackling teams I had ever.
That was awful.
They kept talking about it on the broadcast. I didn't want to give them any credit, but I was like, "Holy shit, they're right! Oh my god, there's a guy laying on the ground over there. There's a guy laying on the ground over there."
So their nickname, their like SEC nickname or whatever for like the haters is Ole Miss. So a bunch of missed tackles. They like lead the country in missed tackles, I'm pretty sure. The other guy, maybe to look out for, I guess, but Mark Fletcher's the main guy is Chamar Brown. He's carried the ball 119 times, so not that many less than Fletcher over the season.
I'm gonna call him
You like Charmar? All right. And he's got 469 yards, much lower average, under 4 yards per carry, and 7 touchdowns. Now let's
short
get to the
yardage
fun
guy.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get to the fun part. This guy is incredible. I've been telling my wife about him. I think he's going to be awesome as he gets older. And he's a true freshman. He's Malachi Toney. He's got almost 100 yards or almost 100 receptions.
He should be a high school senior.
Yeah, unbelievable.
He reclassified.
It only gets said in every broadcast, Seth, but thank you.
So he's
sorry. It's so much fun to do.
Just under 100 receptions on the season, 1,089 yards. He averages 11 yards a reception, which isn't crazy, but 9 touchdowns. He also runs the ball 23 times. And he's thrown the ball 7 times. But here's the thing he does have a problem with. And he hasn't lost any fumbles outside of one huge one at Texas A&M. He's had some ball security issues, especially of late. And what IU does best of anybody else in the country is force turnovers. So that could be a factor with Malachi Toney. Now, if they take Malachi Toney out of the game,
who was the wide receiver that burned Jamari Sharp, but then Jamari Sharp ripped it away?
That was against it was early in the season. That may have been like the Old Dominion game, maybe.
No, it was against a Big Ten team. Doesn't matter. But my point there is these DBs, I guarantee, have watched every single fumble and know that that's what they're going to have to target. So great shout on his fumbling issues. And my point is Pons can cause a fumble. Sharp can cause a fumble. We know our safeties can cause a fumble. Boykin did with the crown of his helmet. Forget which game that was.
It was Kennesaw State was the Jamari Sharp.
So it was super early. So I was wrong. You were right. But again, I think that's a great point. That I do think the IU secondary will be ball hawking Toney's ball security.
I'm going to run through the rest of this offense because I want you to get through your randos and give a prediction before you have to go. So CJ Daniels, another guy to look out for, 6'2", 205 pounds. He's got 46 catches on the year, 7 touchdowns, leads the team in those stats. Keelan Marion, second on the team in receptions and yards at the wide receiver position, and then tight end Elijah Lofton, another guy to look out for. Anybody else receiving the ball, Seth, that stands out? No. Offensive line.
Keelan Marion's really good.
He's a really good player. And so is their offensive line. They're pretty good at center position. Both tackle positions and one of the guard positions are all ranked really high in PFF. And if you listen to anybody that talks pro Miami, they're going to tell you all about it. They do have one really big guy on the outside, Francis. Good luck with this last name. Moigoa. he is a projected first-round pick, and he is first-team All-American on the right side. They are top 10 in PFF overall, and they're towards the top as far as pressures allowed. So that's a big thing IU does. Now, granted, we have hammered this home, especially over the last 5 or 6 pods. Nobody knows what our defense does. Nobody does. Nobody's figured it out. Penn State figured it out for a half. Nobody's figured it out. And if they can figure it out, it's a big problem. Big problem. Because you've got to get pressure on Beck, and you've got to be able to stop the run. Again, we've hammered this home. I think IU matches up pretty well. I mean, a really, really good run defense against a really good running back in a fairly average overall running game. So we'll see how it goes. Beck is going to play a role in this somehow. If we can get him to turn the ball over, they are toast. But we won't let him hang like Louisville did in that game. 4 interceptions. Brandon, we might be talking about leaving. No, absolutely not, because we're going to watch
staying for the ceremony
and the trophy. But it is it could be night early if we can get to Beck. All right, we're going to save the defense for a second. Brandon's got to run here in a little bit. Why don't you run through your randos real quick, and then we'll take a break after that, and we'll get your prediction.
And we talk about, and then you guys can jump back to defense. Okay, so this game is obviously in Miami. But for me, I never really think of Miami as a national championship place. Where does your guys' mind immediately go to? I think New Orleans. I think Atlanta, right, for a national championship. Bragg, it sounds like by your face you think Miami national championship.
I just do, and I don't know if that's got anything to do with like the Colts playing in 2 Super Bowls down there. Some of the memorable national champion. I just like that stadium is so visible. It's always around. Like you're always seeing that blimp view, right? Where you see the 4, I don't know what you want to call them, but the 4 steeple-ish looking things on each corner. And it just, I agree with you that I don't think Miami should be like that big of the epicenter of it. I think Indianapolis did a phenomenal job when it was here. And I do like the fact that we are going to start to, do that whole rotation would be amazing. But yeah, I do. But I'm with you. I think New Orleans is another one.
Glendale.
And Glendale. That's the one I was thinking of. Glendale and Atlanta. Those are the 4, I guess, if you were to give me four choices.
So I know Seth used to live in Miami. Have you been to Miami before, Bragg?
I have, yes, technically. I've been to, not technically. I haven't been in the city of Miami, but I've been to like West Palm and Fort Lauderdale.
I've been to Fort Lauderdale. I actually really liked Fort Lauderdale. Never been to Miami though. So I'm excited. Me and my wife have gone back and forth on this playfully. Is this a vacation?
No.
Business trip.
It's a business trip, 100%. That's exactly
what I've said. She says this is a vacation. So
no.
She just, so where her mindset is, she's treating this as a vacation.
If your shirt's not off and you're not in the sand, then it's not a vacation, and we ain't got time for that.
Yeah. All right. Quick little question here. Michael Irvin and his sideline antics. Love it or shove it?
I've always, hate is a strong word. I've always disliked Michael Irvin. Back to his Cowboy days. So I don't like it. I'm over it.
You and I are 2 guys rowing in the same boat on that one. Oh, it's so annoying.
It's great when he's on, like what did he used to do? NFL Live or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was
phenomenal.
That's different. The sideline antics specifically is annoying.
Yeah.
I don't mind him for the most part on like as a commentator or talking head or whatever.
Now, if Mark Cuban gets out there and he's like sitting on a pile of money, then I could see how that's annoying to other people. But
a throne of money.
Yeah, a throne of just made of pure stacks of cash. Yeah.
Bricks and bricks of cash.
Whoa. Michael Irvin handles on different kind of bricks.
He does.
All right, next one.
Now I know Seth's answer on this, but Bragg, I don't know yours. Did you ever own any clothing, apparel, hats from the U? Did you ever own any U clothing?
I don't think so. If I did, it would have been an Edgerrin James. I don't think I ever had his jersey. I did have his Colts jersey, didn't have the Miami jersey. But no, that would have been it. Reggie, I mean, I had 2 or 3 Reggie Wayne Colts jerseys, but I never had Miami jersey. No. So no. Weird enough, I did have a decent amount of Florida gear at one point in my life, but not Miami.
Yeah, as a guy wearing a DePaul shirt and Marquette shorts right now, I surprisingly never had Miami. I was a Gator boy.
Really? You had
I was a
every
Gator
color.
boy. But we did get our kid a Miami jersey because we have a friend who I'll just say coached at IU and also coached at Miami and gave him some hand-me-down jerseys. So there's some used Miami jersey in my kid's room.
13-year-old Brandon had a white Ken Dorsey jersey. 2001. 2001.
Gosh.
Ken Dorsey.
I just made my after fireball face.
It was pretty accurate.
Did you ever play as Miami in the NCAA video games?
Yes.
Nope. They're always the big boy you had to beat. They were like the final boss.
Agreed.
I was like the Virginia Tech or Western West Virginia
Michigan.
who had to, or whatever ACC Big East rival would have to try to take them down.
Trying to think of a way to say this because I know Bragg, more Seth than Bragg, doesn't like when I bring this kind of content. Screw it. I'm doing it anyway. F1, marry one, kill one. Florida State, Miami.
Oh, God.
Marry Florida, kill Florida State, sexual relations.
That's exactly what I would have done. Same thing.
Yeah, I do that. I just wanted to put you guys into that position. That was very fun. Rank these vacation spots: Key West, Miami, Tampa, or Orlando.
Oh, Key West by far number one. Miami the worst by far.
Oh, well, you lived there, so you know more about it than.
But there's nothing to do in
Miami.
There is nothing to do Miami proper. It's so much smaller than you think it is, and it's literally just like a few blocks on a beach. Everything is in Fort Lauderdale or like you said, West Palm, like all up and down the coast. Miami itself is not very small, but smaller than you think.
I'd go Key
Orlando
West.
slightly
I've never been
above
to Key
Tampa.
West. Yeah, I think I'd go Key West. I would go Tampa just because I spent a decent amount of summers in my childhood in that area, and then Orlando.
Summers in Tampa.
And then Miami.
Orlando at least
Second most
has
strip clubs per capita after Dallas. Tampa.
That's right. Orlando at least has theme parks.
This is true. I love Harry Potter World. I don't like Harry Potter as movies.
There's a Busch Gardens in Tampa.
There is. Busch Gardens is
Busch is great.
Universal.
Busch is great.
For some people.
Busch
right.
Light
is great.
What scares you the most? Gators, sharks, or snakes? Talking Florida, of course. Florida themed question.
Gators, honestly.
I have irrational fear of gators. I hate them so much.
Because gators can be anywhere. Like I see gators when I go to Florida. Sharks, unless I go, I don't see a shark if I don't go in the water. If I'm not scuba diving, I can completely avoid a shark. People who don't go in water don't get eaten by sharks.
Snakes are scary though.
Yeah, snakes are scary, but Florida snakes aren't nearly as bad as other parts of the world. So crocodiles or gators, sorry.
There actually are crocodiles like in southern tip of Florida.
Just the tip.
Last thing, not Miami or Florida related. Mike Woodson fired. Mike Sullivan, the head coach of the Penguins, fired. Mike Tomlin resigned. The Mike trifecta is out of my life. I am so happy. And it couldn't have started National Championship Week better. This is the best way to possibly start. And so just my energy, Bragg, I know you said you're a little bit in the nervous energy, and we're going to get into predictions right now. I'm so happy. That's just where my head's at going into this weekend.
Now, what if you guys get Mike McDaniel?
He's not. He's going to Vegas.
He's got to go. He's also. I think he's got to go backwards. I think he's got to go to a coordinator position again.
Yeah.
But
we'll talk about. Well, plenty of offseason pods to talk about that. Let's jump.
No way you guys get Mike Vrabel, right? I'm just trying to think of other coaches named Mike. Mike Sherman.
Mike McCarthy. He's from Pittsburgh.
Mike Sherman.
Isn't that a guy?
Yeah, but he hasn't coached in like 10 years. I feel like I don't know. Mike Elko. There you go.
All right, Ian's.
All right. You're the only one doing it, or are we all doing it right now in the middle of the pod?
Okay, so yeah, I'll jump into my prediction in case I have to rock an 8-month-old to sleep, which I almost assuredly do. My prediction is IU 31, Miami 20. I got this stuck in my head because, again, I've been looking at so many analytics, and S&P Plus has this as an 11.1 differential, and I think it's actually similar to the Oregon game. I think IU jumps out early, and I mean jumps out early. Like I'm talking 17-3 at halftime, 24-3, and then similar to Oregon, maybe we give up 2.5 scores, and then maybe we get another one late. I'm saying it might be something like 24-17, and me and you start getting nervous, and I'm just, hating life. But I do think we control early, put it away late, 31-20, which is another IU cover. I wouldn't say I am as confident as Oregon, but I would say I'm as confident as Alabama.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, we're going to let you go. I like it. I hope that's how it plays out. I hope it's not as tense as you said it was, because I can't deal with that. But
and then last thing, Seth can look on this. I think Mohamed Toure got hurt pretty bad. Is he playing? Do we know the status of Mohamed Toure?
That would be a big win for IU if possible. Now he's a Rutgers transfer. For those that are like, "Hey, I've heard that name before." I don't see anything. Cristobal updates Torre's status. What did he say? I thought, that was 3 weeks ago. I think he's fine. Did he get hurt? He got hurt again?
In the Texas A&M game. He got crunched in the Texas A&M game. So all you need
a concussion is what they think.
And
then the last thing on the defensive ends, they're both first round guys. They're both incredible, but I believe in Bosted. I believe in Shanahan. Has there been a defensive end that's wrecked us this year?
So that was the thing I was going to talk about. What were we most concerned about last week? The two defensive ends and how well they played against Texas Tech. And they didn't make anything happen against IU.
Also, if you watch the Ole Miss game, the Ole Miss team shut down the defensive ends. Their offensive tackles did really well against Bain and Messidor.
So I've been thinking about this a lot. I was like, when in the Signetti history did the tackles get beat? And a lot of people jumped to the Ohio State game, but I really think that was a center and guard issue. Mm-hmm. I think it was a Rourke going into a lot of sacks issue. I really like
Iowa.
That was more up front. They were just pushing us back.
Iowa's mostly internal pressure. Yeah, it was mostly the D tackles.
State might be the one. Maybe.
But so everyone's making this out. Messidor and Bain are first-round draft picks, elite talent. They have all pro potential. I'm not worried about the defensive ends like other people are.
Famous last words there.
It is famous last words. I hope not. But everyone is making this out to be a Bain and Messidor show. For me, man, I'm just not really that worried about their defense. And it's because what I think you'll go into, their secondary is not good. They jump so many routes. I think we see so many hitch and goes. I think we see so many slants. The thing that does scare me is them jumping back shoulder throws. Who was that? Maryland got a pick six because of a jumped back shoulder throw. So I would love to not see those on Monday night. But I think as long as Mendoza does his film study, which we know he will, and Shanahan does his film study, and just know they are looking to be an opportunistic secondary.
Don't
And
forget, we have to watch their practice film and everything.
Well, yeah, well, we're obviously cheating. Duh.
Yes.
I can't believe I actually didn't bring that up on Brando's Randos. But I got to run. Not worried about their defensive ends. I think we can scheme up their secondary. You guys can go into stats much more. Guys, I'm so freaking excited. Michael, I will see you in 4 days. I don't think I can pick you up from the airport. Just want to put that out there. Sasha has like a whole Sunday planned. It's a thing. I'll text you later. But again, I'm so excited.
The hell are we supposed to do?
Talk about that offline. Go Hoosiers. Thank you everyone listening this entire year. This has been an amazing year. I know a lot of you listeners have listened to us for a long time. If this is your first time, thank you equally as well. I will see Michael, you all, and I will talk to you all next week. Bye.
Peace. Dude. Oh, I thought he was going to pick me up from the airport. That's going to be a fat Uber. Oh, that's all right. I'll figure something out. All right.
Take that break now. We need to pay for that Uber.
Right. Yeah. Be right back. All right, we're back. So, I mean, we are an hour deep into this puppy already. What was a well-lit room from the window next to me has gone almost dark. So we're gonna talk their defense. He did talk a decent amount about the defensive ends. We probably don't need to spend too much time there. I know you're gonna want to talk about them. Messidor 10.5 sacks, Bain 8.5 sacks. I think they're the best duo in the country, if not pretty close to 1 and 2 defensive ends in the country. So what?
No, you're absolutely right. They both do it in different ways. Bain is more the big prototypical edge setter who can also pass rush, can do a little bit of everything. And then Messidor is a little bit of a smaller guy who can really get you with that quick bend and just straight line speed off the edge. So they do it in different ways, but they both are really effective at what they do. And I think you've talked about it, Brandon's talked about it. There's no point in belaboring it. It's you gotta like the offensive tackles that IU has. Between essentially we talked about 7 offensive linemen, having at least 3 guys who can play tackle between Benson, Zen, Ajani, I guess 4, and then Carter Smith on the left side. You've really got to like their ability to hold up against them. The Mississippi tape is out there where they were able to be limited. Bostat is a great offensive line coach. So again, when you normally should be, absolutely quaking in your boots, terrified of these top flight 2 defensive ends. I don't want to say you don't have to worry about it, but you definitely feel better about it than most teams do.
So I just looked up the sack percentage rankings for this season. And as much as we're quaking in our boots, right, about their team and their individual players, they rank 13th at 8.64%. IU ranks 16th at 8.42. So, and now, granted, I mean, IU leads the country in tackles for loss. They're up there in sack numbers, but maybe Brandon was right. I don't know. Let's go through their rankings real quick. We didn't do that. They're 11th overall in total defense, 5th in scoring, 6th against the rush, and 45th against the pass, which is what Brandon was talking about. There's specifics to their passing defense that are not great. It's not only the biting and jumping routes early, it's that they can get beat deep and get beat deep pretty regularly from what I've read.
And they can get schemed, like the whole Jeff Brom concept, Brian and Jeff. They're all schemers. That's what they do.
Linebacker Muhammad Torre, we talked about him for saying not injured. I don't know where that came from. He played last game, unless he got injured last game, but I didn't see anything about that, and I didn't see anything in prep, so he scared me there for a minute. Defensive backs, I kind of like them as individual players.
Oh, the Saint is a pretty good linebacker too. That's the other guy.
The Saint's the other guy. Yeah. I just didn't want to spend 1,000.
I know. That's why I just said his name.
Perfect. The safety position for me it's deep. So like Jacoby Thomas, the main guy back there, second on the team in tackles. He's got 5 interceptions. A lot like a Lewis Moore. Lewis Moore second on our team, I think second or third on our team in tackles overall. A lot of picks. Their free safety position, you're going to get a decent amount of play from 2 guys, but Zachariah Poyser and Bryce Fitzgerald, who actually leads the team in interceptions at 6, is a true freshman as well. Those would be the guys back there. And then the corners, I recognize the name. I had to look it up. The one guy you guys are going to hear about, Keontae Scott, is the guy that had the pick 6 against Ohio State. He's got 2 interceptions, both of them taken back for touchdowns on the season. The Wisconsin transfer, Xavier Lucas. Now, I wish I would have had time or would have thought, I think it passed my mind as I was making the outline, to go see what IU did against him last year with an injured quarterback and maybe a slightly lesser wide receiver room. That would be an interesting matchup. But, I mean, their defense is quick. Their defense has got NFL talent at all 3 levels. I mean, so does IU. But they're fast. They have some problems tackling, which is along the lines of Ole Miss as well. The thing we didn't talk about, again, I said they were going to get beat by the deep ball. They are really, I don't know how to say this, undisciplined, I guess. They've been known to give up stupid penalties. They get 7 penalties a game, which ranks. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of penalties, Xavier Lucas is out for the first half of the game, I think, because of a targeting in the Ole Miss game in the 4th quarter.
Yes. So he's out.
They had a couple guys who dove in late on the pile, the D tackles. They were, I mean, even in the Ole Miss sample size, had plenty of examples where that's exactly what happened.
Listen,
pass interference as well.
Yeah. And then they should have had one on the Hail Mary probably. But I was driving and got to a point where you need to stop and get gas, driving down to Atlanta, and switched seats with my wife. I watched Ole Miss come back in that game. They had no business coming back in that game.
No.
Multiple penalties down the stretch. They rank 104th in the country. That's where that ranks in penalties per game.
I know you talked about Poyser, but he's the guy I really like. I think he's a really good player. He's a baller. He's a good
player. Let's do the how they compare, because everybody thinks, IU haven't played anybody, they haven't done anything. IU number 1 in FPI, number 1 in strength of record, so you can't compare anything there. Now, the only 2 areas that Miami has a slight advantage is in strength of schedule. Their strength of schedule is 12th, and that's because they're playing these college football playoff games, and they played Notre Dame early on. IU's 15th. Their remaining strength of schedule is 1st because they're playing the number 1 team in the country. There's been a trend, Seth, and you weren't here for the last preview, so you didn't see this with Oregon, but it's the special teams efficiency of Ohio State was bad. Alabama, bad. Oregon, bad. Miami, slightly better, but still bad at 77. So you're on the bottom half of the country in special teams efficiency. If this game's close, they don't even know which kicker they're going to use, from what I understand. They've had some kicking issues all season. So that could be a major factor coming down the stretch. So let's do IU players to watch. Seth, if you got anything in your sack, we'll do that after that, and then we'll do our predictions and get out of here. But Seth, on offense, who are you watching?
All right. I'm going to be that guy. It's the homecoming kid. It's the Heisman winner. All eyes on me. Wait, I think that's Tupac. But
all lies on me.
He's the guy who everything's going to come down to. He's the stir that mixes the drink. He's the engine that drives the train. Whatever dumb cliche you want to use, this is the guy. He needs to be steady at the helm. He needs to make sure they're getting off to good starts. He's holding his teammates accountable. He set in an example. Win or lose, this is the last game he will ever play in college. This is the last game he'll ever play at Indiana. This is what he'll be ultimately remembered by. And I know it's only 1 year, but you talk legacy. You talk about what you mean to a university. You come to a place for 4 months. You win a national championship. You win a Heisman Trophy at a school that hasn't the last statue they built was for Taliaferro. So there's going to be, if that's the case, there's going to be a statue of Kurt Signetti and and Mendoza at the front or the side of one of the entrances of Memorial Stadium. So the biggest games, the biggest players, the biggest plays, God damn, man, this is the time you show up and you go out there and you put a 17 for 20 on the board, and just take over and show everybody why they've come along for the ride.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could ask for a better person for the spotlight that he's going to have on him, because if you listen to, I think there was a bunch of post-game stuff, not after the Peach Bowl, but maybe it was after the Big Ten Championship or the Rose Bowl, where multiple teammates would talk about his preparation, first one in, last one out,
his
humble,
composure, preparedness, absolutely,
nonstop watching tape. All he cares about is tape and prep and prep and prep. That I just think that it's a massive, massive spotlight. I mean, there's a big spotlight on Miami playing at home, but a homecoming for a team as the leader of a team that's never been close to this before, going back to your hometown against a team you lived a half mile away from growing up, is a big spotlight.
His mom, his brother, his aunt.
Yeah, it's big time. I noticed I watched the broadcast multiple times. They didn't really start showing her until like the fourth quarter. I don't know where Max went, but Max was no longer sitting there anymore, which was weird. But yeah, it was I thought they were showing her all game, but just like a lot during the fourth quarter. All right, my player to watch, it's tough because you guys didn't take any of my stuff. I have 3 listed. I've got the tackles listed, but we beat that to death. Now I got to figure out which wide receiver I want to pick. I've got Charlie B there. That's probably too easy. The player I'm going to take has been quiet, and I think he's ready to explode. And against a team that can't tackle well, against a team that has trouble against double moves, I think Omar Cooper is due for a massive game. You want to talk about a double move guy? Go look at Maryland. Go look at what he did to that corner at Maryland. Go look at missed tackles that he did. They had no business scoring a touchdown against Purdue, where he caught the ball at the 20 in the middle of the field and broke 17 tackles, it seemed like. Go look at anything. Go look at the one-handed catch against Oregon, where he breaks 2 tackles and ends up near a first down. I mean, I think Cooper's a massive, massive player to watch. Are you okay, Seth? Did you hurt yourself?
Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm contemplating my prediction is changing like moment by moment. And I'm just agonizing over it.
You looked like one of 2 things. One, you either jammed your knee into the corner of the desk, or you were trying to hold back a burp, or some sort of exit of your body.
No, I'm trying to produce 2 segments ahead.
Yes. And honest, I mean, a really good pick here too you want to talk about a legacy game, a legacy college football playoff would be Elijah Surratt coming off that game.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Pat Coogan because he came
well,
so close last year, and this is there's so many rich
things
stories.
Yeah, the running backs. I mean,
Yep.
either one of the running backs. All right, defense.
Yeah, again, Brandon beat me to the punch on this, so I'm going to avoid the linebackers. I think that's a huge point is you have to be able to keep the momentum in front of the backers. You cannot allow the Fletcher or Shamar to get to the secondary, to get to that third level. Like he calls it the second level, whatever. He's weird. But that third level, you want the linebackers to be making and cleaning up tackles, not slowing down for the safeties to come up and make the play. But I think the answers, I think Carson Beck will put the ball in peril. You saw his interceptions was what, 11. IU is a very opportunistic defense without being route jumpers or what was the undisciplined. We talked about the Miami defense in that way. So my answer is Lou Moore, because I think he's a guy who can really change the game. He can take advantage. He's a ball hawk. The defensive line should be able to cause pressure, should be able to rush Beck's decisions. And in those cases, he can be loose with the ball. And I really expect, I wanted to say the ends because they're the pressure creators, but I think ultimately the safeties, with Moore included, are going to be the ultimate takers of advantage of that pressure and should get, I would expect them to get an interception, maybe even 2 on the day. But if I had to guess, I'd say it's going to be more. Sorry. Lou Moore getting the pick, not more interceptions.
Yes.
I mean, maybe that'd be great
take
too.
More interceptions. That'd be awesome. 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 blocked kick in his first start. Daniel Ndukwe. That's who I'm watching. This kid, I told you guys after the spring practice last year, you guys can go back and listen to the pod if you want to go that far back and find it. Watching him, seeing him in spring practice he was impressive. I mean, the way he moves, his length, his speed, he could be a huge factor opposite of Kamara. And if again, I don't know his stats versus pressure. I don't know his stats versus the zone. I didn't do any of this stuff, but any quarterback is going to be rattled.
Yep.
Yes. If you can get pressure on this guy, he will make mistakes. He will force a ball. I think that Ndukwe is a massive, massive player to watch on defense.
And then I think it's so rich. Again, you have the 2 corners coming back to Miami between Pons and Sharp. You have Pons having 2 great playoff games in a row. Can he possibly manage to do a third? You got Boykin, who's probably going to be lined up against Tony a lot in that gadget player rule. Somebody's got to shut him down. You've got Tyreek Tucker, who's just been a menace inside. You've got Landino, who had a huge game last week. You've got Kamara, who we've barely talked about. And then we obviously Hardy and Jones. And I mean, just the list goes. Farrell. We haven't mentioned Farrell. I mean, it just goes on and on of people who have to step up and have big games, because the way you beat this team, we've talked about it. It's you have to get pressure on Beck. You have to rattle him. You have to hit him. You have to force him to make quick decisions. They love the gadget throws. They love going side to side because CJ Daniels is big, strong. And then Tony is just an absolute athletic freak. So they want to get him in space. They like to get him going downhill and side to side. So you have all these different guys who are going to have to figure out ways to contain. And then they got the running backs. Who also are going to try to pound you in the first half to wear you out so that Shamar can have more in the second half and get more explosive plays. IU has answered every single test so far this season. And Bryant Haynes, as we talked about, is prepared to a fault. And it's so strange to think that in the year of our Lord 2026, Indiana football is competing for a national championship, And in all likelihood, we're going to have 3 hosts of this damn show picking IU to win. It's just such a crazy world to live in. And God damn, man, it's crazy just thinking in this moment, this is where we are.
It is insane. I mean, as you were talking, I'm envisioning being in that stadium, watching some things happen. Like it's wild, dude. Like if I put my hand up, like I'm literally shaking right now. Like it's that level of anxiety and nervousness, and it's going to be
3-9 2 years ago,
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, but don't worry, it was 3-9, but we lost like 7 games by 7 points or less. So
because it's he had heart but not talent, or what was it? Yeah,
something like that. Although we had Sorsby and
right,
McCauley and some really good point, Jay Lucas,
McCullough as well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Anything in your sack, or did you just empty it?
No, I was going to say it has been exhausted.
All right. What's your prediction?
All right. So this was my sack. This is where I'm going to combine it. This is in a state where we have Hoosiers. We have Breaking Away. We even have Rudy, and I hate the guy who that movie's based off. Drives me crazy. But for a small state like Indiana, we have 3 movies that are just so ingrained in kind of growing up in this state and the sports experience. This story blows all of those away. Rudy can sit on a rusty fork and rotate.
There you go. Ouch.
Part of Hoosiers was filmed on my grandmother's property, so I should by nature love it. It's kind of a boring movie, I'll be honest with you.
It is.
Breaking Away is absolutely fantastic, and it's the reason I know the IU fight song. I knew it long before I knew the Purdue fight song. What's more likely to get stuck in my head when I'm randomly mowing the yard? It's the IU fight song. And that's because of Breaking Away. This story, what Signetti has done, what Mendoza has done, his mom, it sets up to be this fantastic story that rivals pretty much any football movie that's ever been created. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean the same. It doesn't hit the same if they don't finish it. If they end up being that, oh my God, 15-1. Oh, it was such a great year. Can you believe all this stuff happened? And then Miami beat them 31-3. And it's like it's just, you don't want that emotional pivotal scene to be the semifinal. You don't want him lifting up the trophy in the Peach Bowl being the start of the credits. You have to go out there Monday night and show the world why you're there, why you deserve to be, and why the story needs to be finished that night. And doing it in your rival's home stadium, it just adds to the Hollywood aspect of it. And so 27 IU, Miami 17.
Oh, we're close, dude. Without giving the dialogue,
I forgot that part of it.
No, dude. I mean, the whole movie thing was incredible. We haven't given up. We gave up 22 points in the Peach Bowl at a point in that game where you're up 42-7 at one point. It's wrapped. I mean, Oregon made some decent plays down the field, but at that point we're playing pure zone, whatever. Just don't F it up at some point. That's the most points we've given up all season. While you were talking, I had originally had Miami at 20 points. I think we beat the shit out of them. I think IU wins the game 27-13. And the score doesn't even show it as close as that. The game isn't even as close as the score. That's it. Cheers.
Hoosiers by 1,000,000. Cheers.
Say something stupid.
Oh, that wasn't. Oh, damn it! I screwed that up.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.